All right, guys, we'll be getting started now. I hope you had a chance to grab a glass of water. So first off, I want to welcome you guys for joining our School of Commerce lesson today. For those of you who have joined us for a prior lesson, welcome back. For those of you who are attending your first lesson with us, I'll give you a quick overview of how this is going to go. We're going to have about a 30-minute talk that's going to go on for, and then we're going to have a live question and answer period afterwards. So as you guys are watching the webinar, if you have any questions, please feel free to submit them throughout the course of the webinar, and then we will get to them all at the end. If you forget to ask a question, you always have the opportunity to send it via email after the presentation, and we'd be love to answer that question for you. On an audio front, if for some reason I don't sound great or my audio starts breaking up or you have a hard time hearing us, please just submit a question, let us know you're having difficulty, and we'll ensure that we can get this fixed as soon as possible. But hopefully it's all smooth sailings from here. So I'm extremely excited for today's lesson. Today we're going to be talking about the easiest way to drive repeat purchases to your Shopify store. This is something I'm sure you guys are all extremely interested in, as every single Shopify store owner is always looking for ways to make more money, as this GIF displays. We all want to turn $5 into $10 and $10 into $50 through repeat purchases, customers coming back and rebuying from your store over and over again. The opportunity we're going to be talking about today is one that I think a lot of Shopify store owners ignore, and it's not necessarily their fault, it's just not really presented very well, and that is the email notifications. So if you've ever bought anything online, you've received one of these emails, as you can see on my screen here. Most of them are fairly plain. They have order details, maybe the return policy, your billing shipping address, but nothing else, nothing beyond that. And this is a huge opportunity because, I don't know about you guys, but I open up every single order confirmation I get. Regardless of where I buy it from or when I buy it from, I'm always checking to make sure the order is correct. Now, I don't check half of the email newsletters that come to my inbox. So this kind of tells you that the order confirmation email, as well as other order acknowledgement emails that come through your inbox, are huge opportunities for selling products or featuring products, and an area where you can make more money for your store through repeat purchases. So today, we're going to be talking with Vincent from Spently. So Spently is a product that allows you to turn your transactional emails into marketing opportunities. Your customers who receive these emails will love the wonderfully designed transaction emails and then the automated follow-ups that you can send directly to them. You as a store owner are going to love it because you can view the results of your email marketing campaigns directly from within the app. So you can see every email that goes out and how much money you are directly making from these emails. On top of that, everything can be customized to your brand. So I want to welcome Vincent to this webinar. Vincent, thanks for hopping on with me.
Thanks so much for having me, Kevin.
Vincent, thanks again for jumping on this webinar with us. I'm really excited to have you on. I think Spently is a fantastic product, and I'm really excited to talk about it with you.
Thank you. I'm excited as well.
So I've kind of given you, or I've kind of given our viewers here a brief description of what Spently is, but I'm sure that you can give a much better description. So tell us a little bit about what is Spently.
Sure. You actually did a pretty great job. But Spently is an app in the Shopify App Store that helps merchants customize all the email notifications they send their customers, add upsells and marketing content to those emails, and track the results and performance afterwards.
Yeah, and I think you did even a better job explaining it than I did, but I appreciate it. And as you can see here, I think this is I love this video you guys have on your homepage of showing how a default email can transform into something special with your app. I think this is a fantastic little demonstration. So tell me, how did you guys get started with Spently? What made you realize that Shopify notifications was an opportunity that existed?
Sure. So it's a bit of a long story, so I'll try to keep it short. but when we first started out a few years ago, we were trying to help large brick and mortar enterprise retailers send digital receipts instead of paper receipts. And it ended up being very difficult to integrate with these archaic POS and e-commerce systems. And I had a friend named Luca who had a successful jewelry store on Shopify. And he said to me, hey, Vin, I'm on Shopify and we have to send email receipts to every one of our customers, and I'd love to have this functionality on Shopify. And we quickly realized this wasn't just a problem for Luca, but it was also a problem for many, many Shopify stores. Some of them wanted to do it. Some of them weren't even aware that they could do this. So we quickly brought our app over to Shopify, and we've been building for the Shopify platform ever since.
It's a great story. So obviously you found an example or found a reason why people should be altering their email notifications and using them to sell more. For the viewers who are watching this webinar, who currently maybe haven't actually changed any of their email notifications or still using the default templates that exist within Shopify, what would you tell them?
I would say if they're not utilizing their email notifications to upsell or communicate something to their customers, I would say they're missing a huge opportunity. And the main reason is it's the most viewed emails you can possibly send your customer. So there's context as to why they're receiving it, so everyone's viewing those emails. And they say it's 14 times more likely to sell to an existing customer rather than to a new customer. So after someone makes a purchase, they get a series of emails afterwards. They already trust your brand. They're excited about receiving a product. It's a great opportunity to upsell or communicate some other marketing goal that you may have at that time. And I'd say they're missing that opportunity if they're not taking advantage of it.
Yeah, it's interesting that you have kind of a stat to back my assumption up when I talked earlier about how myself, I open up every single order acknowledgement email I get when I buy online just to verify that the order is correct and everything went through correctly. But compared to traditional marketing emails, half of them I'll delete before they even get opened.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, look, most of those emails have always traditionally been used to serve a functional purpose, communicate information about an order, communicate information about a shipment, or maybe a customer account being opened. So, it's not everyone's fault, but we kind of discovered that, hey, if we include marketing content in these emails, they can drive a really, really high ROI.
So, I've mentioned the order acknowledgement email a few times, but there's obviously a lot more emails that go out to a customer from a store than just the order acknowledgement email. What other type of emails are ones that store owners should be taking advantage of?
So there are a total of 16 transactional emails that are sent from Shopify. Shopify calls them email notifications. Some of these emails are related to an order, so this is your order confirmation, possibly an order refund. There's a few of those. There's also the shipping emails, so shipping confirmation email, shipping update email, and then there's also a whole slew of emails that are related to customer accounts. So if you have customer accounts enabled on your store, when someone signs up for an email, they get a welcome email. That's a great place to include a discount code or something to encourage that first purchase. And then obviously there's also the abandoned checkout email, which is a great one.
Yeah, there's actually quite a few email notifications in here. I think, I recently started up my own Shopify store, kind of as a test for myself to see if I could start a store in one day and sell a product in one day. Kind of a challenge for myself. But I didn't really realize notifications are kind of buried in the Shopify settings. They're not something that's very obvious to change. And I'm kind of going through, as you can see on the screen here, going through these emails, and in some ways it's almost kind of overwhelming when you go to edit them because it appears like you need to know quite a bit of code to be able to make any changes to improve how these emails work.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. In order to customize these, you either have to be really good at HTML, or and even then, you still don't get things like recommended products or discounts, and you obviously still don't get analytics. So there's much easier ways to do that.
Sure. I mean, like, on the screen here, I have an example of the typical email that Shopify is going to send out to one of my customers who buy one of my products. And for the record, this is not a real store. I'm not an iPhone reseller, just in case Apple ever watches this and wants to take legal action against me. But you can see, yeah, it's very, very basic. There's really not much going on in here. It's really just kind of, it's very basic, just default information kind of stuff. I'd love to load up Spendly here and kind of walk through it with you, Vincent, and maybe we can talk about a few of the different things that we've chatted so far. Let's pull up here. So one thing I loved about Spendly is the first thing I went in here, and even though I haven't made any sales yet, is I love this dashboard of all the data that you guys provide. What led you to kind of focusing so much on this data?
Well, I think if you're not able to track the performance of something, you're not able to improve it. So I think that's super, super important, especially given the results here. So, it's obviously very important to see how many emails you're sending, what the open rate is, what the click rate is, and if you see on the right, you can see link performance. So we have link level tracking, so you can see, this link or this image performed really well, or this one did not. Maybe you want to swap out images and update your emails on a regular basis. And then lastly, ROI. Are these promotions leading to sales, and how is it impacting our bottom line?
So if a customer buys something from my store and they get my email from Spendly and they actually buy a product through the email, Spendly will actually tell me that one sale was from Spendly?
Yes, yeah, absolutely. If someone opens an email, engages with an email, and then that leads to a purchase, then we will display that in the dashboard.
That's an easy way to see how much the value that Spendly is bringing to your store. That's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
So if you guys remember when I showed you the prior email that Shopify had sent, I've gone in here and I've created a template with Spendly. And this is for just the default order confirmation email, so the same one that we talked about earlier. And Spendly provides a ton of different templates, themes that I'll show you guys, but this is just the default one that it kind of matches the design that Shopify is showing. So I'm just going to enable some placeholder text so you can kind of see what it looks like here. But you can see, like, one thing I've added in this email is as a discount code, as a way of saying thanks for shopping with me. Here's a discount code to get 15% off your purchase within the next 2 weeks. But there's a ton of more stuff I can see doing in here. Like, one thing I think is really awesome is be able to add recommended or featured products just by dragging in here. I can select my products. I can add divider below. And now I don't really have to know any HTML, right, Vince? I can go in here and I'm just playing around making some changes.
Absolutely, yeah. So this is a drag and drop template builder that's very easy to use and highly customizable. So you can load images, you can change colors, you can change fonts. We now support a whole bunch of cool Google fonts. And then we have some great marketing components that you touched on. So one is the discount code. So we load that on the template. We automatically generate those discounts, and they automatically work with the back end of your Shopify store. Another cool thing about the discount code is we actually use the customer who purchased. We use their first name in the discount code and a random array of numbers and letters, because we found if you use the customer's first name in the discount, they're more likely to use that discount to come back and shop again. And then on the recommended products, it's really nice because it's really easy to use. You drag and drop it on the email template, and automatically, based on what someone purchased, we'll generate 2 products from the same collection that they haven't purchased in the past, that we'll say, similar to how Amazon does, we'll say, hey, we noticed you bought this. You may also be interested in this item or this item, and recommend some other products. Now for the featured products, Kevin, do you have any test products in your store?
I do have some test products, yeah.
So if you drag the featured products component on to the template.
Yeah, I've got it right here. Is there a way for me to see what products are going to be pulled up here?
So I'm not sure if my screen's updating. Not the recommended products, the featured products one.
Okay, I'm going to... Here, let's do featured products.
So yeah, so just so everyone knows, on the right here, Kevin is dragging from the various different components that you can drag and drop onto a template. There's image components, button components, spacers, dividers, and a whole bunch of other stuff. And then on the right, there's the settings to customize those components. It looks like the image link is broken here. But if you click the, oh, you know what, I can't really see on my screen, but it should load all the products in your store. If you wanted some more manual control, you'll be able to actually select products you want to feature in the store, or rather in the email directly with this component.
Well, it could be something to with my test store. I have a few products, but maybe Apple's already cracking down on me and asking me to delete my iPhones for sale.
Possibly.
This is awesome. And now, this is one example of the templates, but there's as I was browsing before, there's a ton of different notifications. It seems like pretty much one for every single one that's offered within Shopify.
Yeah, so if you look on the left here, yeah, there's a bunch of different emails that you can customize. Here I see you've selected the abandoned checkout email. And we provide a number of different themes depending on the look and feel you want for your email notification. So the first one was the Shopify default. It looks very similar to the default email that comes out of Shopify. This just lets you customize it. And then with the other themes on the right, they're a little bit different, like the North Wolf theme on the far right, has some more styling and colors and a bit of a different format. And these are all still highly customizable to your brand and your colors and your logos, but they're just formatted a little differently.
Yeah, I believe this is the one that I was using earlier, and it's pretty easy just to load it up and to start making some changes to it and dragging different stuff in.
Yeah.
So, Vincent, clearly Spently is when I learned about it, it's a huge step forward for email marketing and email notifications, and email is a space that clearly is only going to get more and more important as time goes on. And with Spently, you guys have made huge strides into changing that. But how do you see email notifications changing in the future?
Well, I see more and more store owners, discovering this as an opportunity to be used as a marketing channel, as part of the overall marketing mix. And from the Spently perspective, we plan to continue to develop more and more features to help merchants drive more sales. One of them we're releasing soon is a referral component. So when someone gets an email, it says, hey, share this discount with a friend, and we'll give your friend 10% off, and we'll give you 10% off. So that's just one example. And another thing, I don't know if you're able to do this, Kevin, but if you still have the Spently homepage opened, we have a tab at the top called Inspiration, and it shows some of the beautiful work some of our stores have done and what they've created with emails. But if you don't, that's okay.
I do actually. I was browsing through this earlier. It kind of gives a good example of, how customized it can be.
Yeah, I like this one by Entree Lifestyle. At the top. They're all cool, but that one, it shows the recommended products in action.
Yeah, that looks...
And a discount code with the first name as well.
Yeah, that's a really interesting idea. I've never received a discount code with my name on it. I think that's a fantastic idea. It's very, very, unique.
Yeah, and then there's obviously, social at the bottom. That's something that doesn't come in the default email. So these little things all help to connect with the customer.
So, I mean, you're clearly very well versed in emails and how the proper etiquette and things for sending emails. What are some common mistakes you see store owners make when it comes to these emails?
Hmm. I think the main thing is just not including marketing content. I mean, most stores are sending these emails every single day. So every single day, if they're making sales, they're sending order emails, they're sending shipping emails, and there's no marketing content. So it never hurts to include things like product recommendations, discount codes. Maybe you have a blog or something else you want to drive them to. If you're sending these emails anyway, you should be taking advantage of that opportunity, especially since they're opened and viewed so often.
No, I mean, clearly it's a huge opportunity. I'm continuing to look at some of these inspiration emails, and yeah, some of them are pretty well designed. So, I know myself. I use Mailchimp all the time, and I'm sure a lot of store owners here may have used Mailchimp before or have an existing newsletter list. Is Spently a service that can be used in conjunction with Mailchimp? Is it kind of viewed as not an add-on, but something you can use in parallel with Mailchimp?
Absolutely. So most of the stores that use Spently also use MailChimp or another tool to send newsletters. And the reason is because we support very different emails. So um, MailChimp is really good at sending newsletters or what we would call bulk email, and they don't actually support any of the transactional or Shopify notification emails, and that's really what Spently focuses on. So they're very different. A newsletter is sent to a whole list of people at one time, whereas email notifications are sent to individuals when they take certain actions.
So, in your opinion, obviously we talked about a few of these stats, but what are some of the key numbers that store owners should be looking at? I know it's difficult with Shopify's built-in notifications because there really is no tracking available for them. But what are some of the numbers that people should be looking at when it comes to email marketing?
Well, I think the key numbers are really, obviously how many emails are being sent, but a really key number is the open rate, obviously the click rate, and the ROI. Going back to, the comparison of newsletters to email notifications, one of the key differences is really the open rate. So the industry standard open rate on an email newsletter in retail is typically 20%. So, a lot of people aren't opening that email. However, when you look at something like an order confirmation email or a shipping confirmation email, the unique open rate is typically 80%, and the total open rate is usually over 200 and 300%. And the reason is because people often open that email several times. So, they'll open it when they get it. They may open it later on that night or the next day. So that's a key difference between newsletters and email notifications, and one of the different stats.
And that's a very good point. And I can't imagine the amount of times I bought something from Amazon that I'm really excited about receiving, and I get that order acknowledgement email with the tracking number in it, and I open that email probably dozens of times to click that track shipment button to see if it's coming soon. So yeah, and if there's happen to be products in that email, I mean, it seems likely that I'd probably click on one of them.
Well, yeah, if you're engaged with a brand, it's likely that you don't just like one product. You may like a few different things from that store. So why not remind them about those things?
So this inspiration page was great because it showed showed me kind of examples of customers who have been using Spently and the emails that they've designed. I'd be really interested, and I'm sure that a lot of our attendees would be interested. And do you have an example of a success story, someone who's used Spently and seen a huge ROI?
Sure. So, we have a lot of success stories. We work with a few thousand Shopify stores to date, And in the last 6 months alone, we've driven over $100 million in sales for those stores. But one store in particular is called The Main Choice, and they sell kind of health and beauty products. And in the last 2 years, they've generated over $185,000 in sales just from the offers in the emails. So I thought that was a pretty fantastic story.
Well, yeah, that's insane. I'm sure they probably wouldn't give up Spently at all.
No, I don't think so.
So, thanks, Vincent, for answering those questions. That was great, and I love getting kind of an idea of what Spently can offer. And I think that the details and stats you had around email marketing were definitely really helpful. We're going to get started with a Q&A in just a few minutes here. So if you have any questions for Vincent or for myself, please submit them now, and we'll be going through them now. But before we do, Vincent, is there anything you would like to add?
Yeah, I just wanted to say, for everyone who attended this webinar or is viewing this webinar in the future, I'd like to offer a 20% discount on the Spently app on any of our annual plans. Feel free to email me at vincent@spentlyhq.com. And otherwise, we also have a free app. I'd encourage everyone to try the free version as well.
Awesome. Yeah, we'll definitely include any that information in the follow-up email we send. We will be emailing a recording of this to everyone who registered for the webinar in case you missed part of it. And we'll include all those details in that email so that you can take advantage of that. So let's get started with some of the questions. The first question we have for you, Vincent, somebody's asking about does Spently have any functionality to add poll or survey in the transaction emails, or is that something you guys see yourselves adding in the future?
Yeah, so it's definitely something we'd like to add in the future. Right now, we do have some people doing it, but how they do it is they link out to an external poll or survey, like something like SurveyMonkey. But we'd like to have a simplified version in the email, kind of a, happy or sad face or something like that.
Perfect. Next question is, well, actually, it's kind of a funny question. How is Bold Commerce tied to Spently? And I probably should disclose at the beginning, we're not tied to Spently in any way. So in no way is we don't own a part of Spently or nothing like that. Just wanted to be clear on that. Let's go to the next question here.
Oh, I mean, there is one way technically that we're tied to each other, in that it's that Spently actually supports the Bold Product Options app. So if you have Bold Product Options and you want those product options to be displayed in your email notifications, we work seamlessly with Bold. You don't have to do anything to do that. If you use Bold Product Options and Spently emails, those product options will be displayed in the email.
That's actually a very good point. Yes, product options is supported, so that's great point on adding that. So let's continue going through the questions here. Somebody had brought up the idea of Facebook Messenger, and whether that, what the future of that looks like, and whether that's something that Spently may integrate in the future with sending emails through a service like Facebook Messenger. Vincent, is that something you kind of come across before? I can't say I've ever gotten an email through Facebook Messenger for any purchase I've made.
I mean, it's possible, but when you look at all the different messaging channels, whether it's SMS, Facebook Messenger, email is still the most sort of widespread contact out there. So almost everyone has an email, and you need an email to shop online. You may have Facebook, you may not have Facebook if you're buying from an online store, but you definitely need an email. So for the near future, we'll be focused on email, but we've always been interested in other messaging channels as well.
Yeah, that's a very good point. We had a few customers, our attendees, ask about how the pricing structure works for Spently. So Vince, I can pull up the pricing page. I'm on the website right now, Is there anything you want to walk us through as far as how the different tiers work?
Sure. So yeah, so there's a free plan, and that gives you sort of unlimited access to the order confirmation email notification only. So you get analytics on it, you can use all the marketing components on it, but you don't get access to any of the other emails. Whereas if you look at all the other plans, you can access all 16 email notifications. You can also schedule auto follow-up emails. So, if you want to reach someone automatically 30 days or 60 days after an order, or several times throughout the year after they make an order, you can also set up those auto follow-up emails. And how we tier it is based on order volume. And the reason we tier it that way is because typically the more orders a store does, the more emails are sent, and the more offers are out there, and the more ROI they generate. So we've seen a clear correlation that way. So if you're doing 1,000 orders a month, you may be sending, 5 to 10,000 email notifications. That's a lot of offers out there, and that typically translates into, tens of thousands of dollars in revenue.
Yeah, and it's very clear on your website. If you guys head to spently.com, as you can see, spently.com, and click on pricing, you can see it's all laid out here. And a few people were asking about a trial. It's a free 14-day trial for any of the plans. So if you wanted to get started with Spently today, you can definitely install it and test around for it for a couple weeks to see how much value it does add to your store, for sure. This next question, not sure if I completely understand, Vincent. Maybe you will. People are asking in relation to MailChimp and transactional emails. Does Spently handle SendMail server, or for that should we rely on a product like Mandrill or Shopify SMTP?
So I'm not clear exactly what they're asking, but I will say this. In terms of transactional email, there is no way to use, let's say, a Mandrill with your Shopify store. And the reason is because Shopify doesn't give you a way to turn off the default transactional email. There's no way to do that. So what we do at Spently is we actually replace the default emails sent by Shopify by using the HTML generated in Spently and pasting that HTML with the tracking code and with the marketing components in the Shopify dashboard. Otherwise, if you did try to send transactional email in addition, you'd be sending duplicate emails. So people would be getting 2 receipts, one from Shopify, one from Spently or Mandrill, and that's not the best customer experience.
Yeah, I think that answers the question. We can always follow up via email to make sure that answers your question. The customer who submitted that. So we have one more question, and again, it's about functionality, and I think this is something that don't believe you guys offer, but it's in relation to low stock emails as far as when a product inventory is getting low. Is that something Spently's looked at that you guys offer or think you may offer in the future?
That's a really interesting idea. That may be something we offer in the future. What I've seen people do with our auto follow-ups feature is instead of just sending the one abandoned cart email, they'll send one, let's say 24 hours later, then they'll send another abandoned cart email 3 days later telling the customer the stock's getting low, and maybe even a third abandoned cart email a week later telling them, there's only a few left on the shelf, and encourage them to complete their purchase.
Perfect. Well, like I said, that's all the questions we have for today. So if you guys have any questions afterwards, as I mentioned earlier, I will be sending a follow-up email with a recording. That usually comes out a couple days after. So definitely by Monday, you guys will be receiving that. And inside it'll have Vincent's contact information so you guys can take advantage of the promotion he shared. As well, it will also contain our information so that you can reach out to us and provide some feedback about today's webinar. And if you guys have any questions, we'd love to hear them, so you can definitely contact either of us directly. Again, I want to thank you guys all for attending. I want to thank Vincent for jumping on talking about Spendly. I think it's a fantastic product that a lot of people could benefit from, and I look forward to seeing some of the awesome email notifications you guys cook up.
Yeah, thank you so much, guys. That was great.
Have a good day, guys.